talking with those people. And I'm plumb tuckered out. There ain't no disputing that. This isn't going to be a very long stream, I don't think. I just felt like chatting for a little while with the world and with you about Spreem. Is Spreem the next billion-dollar idea? The answer is yes. You may be asking yourself, what is Spreem? And how can I get some? Well, what Spreem is a question we'll get to in a sec. I'm going to hang tight for a minute here. I don't have to repeat all my information about Spreem when people come later. Okay? Just deal with it. Deal with it. How long is my head? This long. My head's about 10 inches long. So, but from this, in this direction. Oh, you want to know how wide my head is? Well, I'm going to go like about there, assuming about 6.5 inches wide. About 6.5 inches wide and about 10 inches long. That's my face. So now, if you wanted to rebuild it, no, I have not used that to measure my penis. This is a cool little tape measure that's super compact, you know. You put this in your pocket. It feels nice in your hand, too. And, what's it got? It's got 3 feet worth of tape, I think. So, yeah, I'd need a bigger tape measure. Spreem. What is it? How can you get in on this now while it's still early? And how much what's the right ruler to measure one's manliness? Self-love. Hi, Acacia. Would a woodchuck chuck? I don't know. But the question is, what is Spreem? Why is it worth billions? And where can I get some? Hi, I'm from Mariposa, California, the county in which Yosemite National Park lies. So what is Spreem? SRJ, what's the last movie I saw? I haven't watched a movie in a little while, but one of the last movies I saw was that Jennifer Lopez vehicle where she's like a space lady reliant upon an artificial intelligence, but she's, I forget what the plot basically. It was alright. It wasn't as bad as I expected. So, what is Spreem and how can you get some? Well, Spreem, let me put it this way. Why is it the next billion-dollar idea? So, no, not Spring, Spreem. Spreem. The women of Nantucket, I'm talking about the olden days of Nantucket, back when whaling was a big industry. So, the women of Nantucket were known as having some of the most age-defying skin in all of history. And the reason why? Because they rubbed sperm oil spermaceti on their face to smooth out wrinkles for lots of reasons. So, obviously, the modern woman, as modern women, We can't any longer, in good conscience, rub whale sperm on our face for moisturizing impacts and stuff. And that's where Spreem comes in. The world's first all vegan, cruelty free sperm whale oil substitute. Just like those poppy coffee beans. I don't know about poppy coffee beans. I've never heard of them before. Fits an ass. Candace D. Candace D. Fits an ass. What? Well, I don't even know where Candace D. fit in ass. I see. I understand it now in full. Oh, thank you so much for that $100, Babuji. I love how it didn't show up as a super chat or anything. I don't think we want to know, Ladia. Hi, I'm new. What's happening here? What's happening here is the most exciting, the most informative, the most insightful, and potentially the most empowering live stream you'll ever see. After all, we already are on our way to setting your financial future thanks to Spreem. Because here's the thing, to market Spreem in full, we need to talk a little bit about the Katakata plant, which is an indigenous plant that's just used really deep in the Amazon jungle by native tribes. Well, guess what? Guess the other population of people who are famous for their incredibly young looking skin, besides the Nantucket women. It's the Amazonian tribe that uses the Takataka plant. And basically, if you crack open the nut of it to Takataka, what pours out of it, it looks just like, feels just like, and works just as well as real sperm whale sperm oil. Um, so now's your chance to get in on this amazing, amazing deal. All you got to do is figure out what plant produces an exact equivalent of sperm whale oil but vegan. How much moolah? Well, I mean, the thing is, what you're choosing to invest here is your time figuring out all this stuff I just said, right? And then once you figured it out, you give me at least 50%. I'm just the idea man, okay? Can I shout your cousin? Oh, Mr. Oxlong. You're not supposed to put the C in front of it. You got it wrong. Letty, Letty Calix. Acacia and I are familiar with all the mics. From Almost Everywhere to Aunt Believe It's Not Butter. Why did you delete that? What are you doing here, Lamb? I had time you up for 10 seconds. I didn't see that one, maybe. Maybe that's why I didn't see that one. Let me see. It was just, I don't think that was a weirdo energy. I just think that Mike he was saying, he's trying to get me to be like, oh, if it's your little cousin, then I'll say it, you know? Just, hey, old timer, my question is, I have to get a tax Florida from my life. I have to get it back in the 1930s account and get it back in your wallet. I don't understand that very well, but I mean, I just see it as a ploy to get a YouTuber to be more likely to shout it out because you're talking about your cut. Oh, that'd be nice to do or something. I don't think it was anything more nefarious than that. Marky Mark's here. Have you reverted from Mark Wahlberg? Did you get your pond fixed? Well, I mean, it's not quite. It's not. It doesn't have any water in it. I've got a lot of. It's really a big dugout water feature that got in the works, but I don't have any water in it yet. Ah, did Fly Guy actually manifest the stream? Yes, I can tell you that Fly Guy did manifest the stream because um, as I was fighting the urge to live stream, I heard Fly Guy's voice compelling me to start it. I don't think he manifested it. I think it just happened coincidentally with his manifestation. Also, the beer buckle Bargola is an intercourse move that shouldn't be attempted. High degree of danger. I would never even try to attempt any such moves. I don't, moves are moves are for skateboarding contests. Give me my due. Okay, Fly Guy, it was all you. It was all you. I admit it. Finally, I have to come to terms and accept it. Intrigued and piqued is intrigued. I see. Half intrigued, half piqued. See, intrigued doesn't work same as piqued though. Expose the toes, my guy. Free the feet. My feet are free. I'm wearing my Tommy slippers. How do I feel today? I feel pretty spent. You know, I worked all night last night getting the rental ready for pictures, and I did get it ready. I mean, I'm not entirely done. I need to do a couple of things before some prospective buyer actually looks at it. So, um, I have to like put the plates back on the outlets in the bathroom. I need to pressure wash the outside of it, and maybe there's like one or two little things that oh yeah, the drapes. That's right. You think I feel frisky? I don't feel frisky. I had felt frisky earlier, but Rachel made sure to attend to that. Let's just keep it. No, we're not keeping it. What have I accomplished thus far in my life by your imagining? I'm 41 years old. Thus far, I'm not far along, thusly. Well, Jake, I imagine you've tripled up on your original quantity of Jake. Originally, you just had one. Now you got three. That's a success rate of 300% in the field of Jake. Also, is this stream free to watch? Justin is demanding that I pay $75 a month to watch it. Who's Justin? Yes, the stream is free to watch. Like, subscribe, and love this live, says Goals are for you. Well, thanks, Goals are for you. What a nice thing to say. I'll be its babysitter. And then you know, in case you don't know. Well, if you'd like to buy it, you can call my realtor. And you could live just down the street from us. How long until you're as far as had initially imagined? The thing is, Jake, as far as moving along in terms of progress in life, um, I think the people who continue to grow and progress in life are the lucky few, really. I think it takes a lot of Okay, Andrew Bodle, you don't need to promise me anything to shout you out. I talk to everybody who comes on the stream. French fries are her goal. French fries are whose goal? You're late to fatherhood? No, Acacia. Two Jake sounds dumb. Obviously, you go from one to three if you can't get one. Jake. I mean, come on, who would pick a name like that? That's a dumb name. But Jake. That's like shake. Well, you know what wasn't taken on YouTube? Talking with famous people. He's used to those begging YouTubers. Yeah, I'm not a begging YouTuber. Although I'd like to get more in the habit of asking you periodically, say, hey everybody who happens to see this video slash short, really. It's not so much about live streams, but if you liked it, mind subscribing, that'd be nice. Because why do I have to be so too cool for school that I never even anybody to like a video or anything? It seems kind of unnecessary. I don't have to be that too cool for school. Looking old is cool. Well, then I'm going to have to put away this Spreem I got, because if you want a true age-defying serum, get sperm whale oil. However, since we don't want on your conscience a bunch of dead sperm whales, consider buying a tin of vegan, cruelty-free, indigenous people uh, indigenous people endorsed Yakata plant derived Spreem. I imagine the commercials going like this. There's one where there's this lady who she's got one of this, like, those kind of oval eggish shaped tins that has usually have like cold cream in it. But in this case, it's full of Spreem. And she are going like this with her hand, just scooping up a big handful of Spreem. And then, maybe another commercial has this busy housewife career woman who's got like lots of things going on, right? She says, of course beauty matters to me, but not enough to kill a sperm whale. That's why I use Spreem. Voted the #1 sperm oil substitute 10 years running. 10 years from now. It's just launching right now, we need to put together a research and development team to actually make the Spreem, to find a plant, name it Yakata, and make Spreem out of it. Sounds like a cool chick to me. Eric. Well, she is cool. She's a big Spreem advocate. The best advertising for Spreem is just the word of mouth. Because when people try it, they're like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is not real whale oil sperm. Note, you cannot use it to fuel your oil lamps, however. Spreem is not for use in oil lamps. You're going to have to get real whale oil for that. It's a whale of a good time. Spreem, it's a whale of a good time. Hilarious. So, I think when we first launch this product, we're going to launch it in an unusual way. Instead of getting a distributor to, you can't refill your sperm whales. You can't, you have to crack their heads open to get the sperm out. So, um, the rich, creamy spermaceti. How many people have read Moby Dick? I have read Moby Dick. Terrible book. I had to read it in college. It asked me a question about it. Like when you graduate from an English department, you gotta go through this like interview. They talk to you about the various books you studied and stuff like that. They asked me what was the theme or like I don't remember. Maybe the word they used was theme, or it could have been some other English word, English teacher kind of word. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know, whales. It's like man versus nature. Oh, okay. Seems like it's about whales to me, but what do I know? I'm not. I'm not on this English teacher degree awarding program. Here I am. There's not a woman alive who won't cross a few legal lines for some age-defying serum, okay? The thing is, what I object to is the women who just kill the sperm whale, take the sperm out, and just leave the carcass on the beach rotting. Some idiot got eaten by a lion when was illegally poaching. They're good. Good job, lion. Who can blame you for eating a poacher? Nobody. All women hate me. Oh, the deal for real, the deal for real. Can you not, please? There's no such creature called all women. I mean, the only such creature is that which has two X chromosomes and is human. And that's very much not informative about their tastes. I get it. Each of us in life, and as we move through life, there's, life is a field. And in that field, there are sections of pure bullshit, and there are other sections. If you're finding a lot of your experience landing in the bullshit area, the fog of bullshit, then it's going to be pretty tough to to grow and adapt to that. But being here doesn't hurt. Wasn't. I am lucky, but it doesn't make you a loser. I tell you, what is definitely a good idea is to stop the negative self-talk. As somebody who's engaged in negative self-talk myself, nobody ever benefited in any way from hating themselves. That's why after a long time of saying a lot of negative stuff to myself, now if I say mean things to myself, I try to say, it's okay, little Eric. I love you. Because, especially if you're not feeling very lovable or loved, it's important to love yourself. Which is easy to say from a position of safety, like of relationship safety. Being in the right relationship is easy for me to say that, but I'm watching a lot of World War II videos. And, you know, it's interesting. It really makes you think. But in watching these videos, I did watch one which was, instead of a video about World War II, it was an interview it was done, I think, fairly recently, of a World War II veteran. He's 98 years old, perfectly lucid guy. He was a Jewish guy who spoke German because his parents had escaped to America. When he was when he was 16 is when the war started, and he was saying like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be in it because it has to last more than 2 years." But it did, and he ended up like doing initial interrogations of German prisoners to see if they had any high value. You were apologizing for your spelling. Well, you know what, Jake, you know what helps with bad spelling? Spreem. Just take a little Spreem, rub it right here, you're good to go. Most women are not evil. Most people are not evil. But there are some people who are evil. Jake is the co-creator of Intrigued. Well, it reminds me of, what's that word? It's half iterate and half, can't remember the other one. I just say cheese. Just eat cheese. Well, yeah, eating cheese is safe. Apprised and appraised. You can't combine a word. You can't combine those two because it would be appraised. I guess you could combine it. Keep you that way. No, it's delineate and iterate, right? It's delineate. That's what it is. Delineate. It's half delineate, half iterate. So you're going to make a list of specific things that delineates a specific distinction. Delineate. Yeah. And if somebody creates an artifact in the process, or multiple artifacts in the process of delineating, then they have created delineator finalia. Delineator finalia is a hot growing collectibles object, a collectibles category. Oh my God! Did you see? This is in this auction. There's a set of Abraham Lincoln delineator finalias. When I was arrested in Oklahoma, I said, "You can't arrest me for delineator. And they said, "We're not. We're arresting you for paraphernalia, along with possession of marijuana." Yeah. 6 one, half dozen another. A rhetoric or rhetoric. Literary rhetoric, I believe. Rhetoric is a good name for somebody, though. Rhetoric the Enforcer. Oh, I feel like I might have a poop coming on. But that's what always happens when I get in my Flying Falcon. Hello. Thanks, Anurag. I'm not quite 20 yet. I'm 19. I'll be 20 in just like less than a week. And then one more year till my 21st birthday. Yeah, okay. Sometimes people say I look a little bit old for 20. But, just goes to show you. It's more about your genetics than about your lifestyle or anything, okay? Like, let's say you're 18 years old today. You might look like me tomorrow. That's how quickly the aging can hit you. All in one day. That's when you go from looking fresh and young to old and wrinkled. Okay. I got a poop stool for my feet, a hat for my head, a lighter for each hand, and I'm on a mission. Urine freshness. That's the feeling of introverted sensing. The feeling of releasing urine into the toilet. Be free, my liquids. Be free. At least that liquid. I'd like to keep my blood inside of me. And I guess semen is a liquid, but pretty viscous for a liquid. The other semi-liquid thing I want to get out of me is mucus. And then, of course, once a month, I like to expel my uteral lining. I get cramps, when my uteral lining expels because I'm not sure why, but that's one of the things that happens. You'd think that somebody would have done a better job of designing women to make babies. Like, what's up with this? I have to bleed out my puss once a month, What's all that about? Who ordered that? I guess it's better than being a ferret. Or if you don't get pregnant, you die. I didn't poop, I just peed. Not sure, but a new rag might be Sumerian for the sky's white. It's English for this old rag goes in the trash. Okay, let's take coffee, live stream, and flashlight and cigarettes out to the back. Okay. Spreem is Sumerian for sperm whale sperm. It's a language that was spoke by the Sumerians. namely the people who lived in Sumer, which frankly has really gone downhill. Used to be a pretty nice place, but ever since news got out about that Fertile Crescent, it's just gone to shit. The neighborhood's really gone downhill. Get out of here, Fertile Crescent. Nobody wants your Mesopotamian ways. I think we can all agree on that. Mesopotamia. I'd like to start an organization that specializes not just in being racist against Vikings, but against all peoples who no longer exist. So, why don't we hear more people talking shit about the Mesopotamians? Hmm? I don't know why. Nobody knows why. What about why don't we talk shit about the ancient Egyptians and the pharaohs? Be like, you're no god, pharaohs. You're just inbred fucking tards. I'm unimpressed by your ferocity. That's what your pharaohness is called. If you're a pharaoh, virtue is your ferocity. Not to be mistaken with ferocity spelled with an F, which means something different. Well, oh my God, how much did I get done at the other house yesterday? Insane amount of stuff. But how insane am I for thinking it was going to take not a very long time? It took me like a solid week of busting my ass. Did you ever have a wife? Me? Yeah, I have a wife right now. I'm on my third wife. Not concurrently. Divorced first one, got wife number two. Divorced second one. Eventually got wife number three. Final wife. She's my final wife. So I'm building a pond over here. Got some concrete right here. And there's a concrete mix. But I'm not done digging yet. It's quite an extensive little water feature I got planned here. It's nice to be doing it on the hillside in some sense. It's going to make it really easy to, manage the flow in a circle. I'm going to take it up the hill from that end, and then it's going to trickle down here into this end and back down to the bottom again. It's going to be a very pleasing feature of the yard. I'm taking my time to make sure I do it right. Since my first attempt was half-assed and an abject failure, this time not so much. This time it's coming out. I'm pleased with how it's coming out so far, and I have faith that it will come together beautifully. Now I'm not gonna try to put like concrete all on the bottom of the thing and have a concrete bottom thing. Instead, I'm gonna use it as basically, mortar for tiles, which will be rocks, these flat rocks that are around here. I'll try to go get some big ones though. Currently, the ones I collected last time were all small because I was making a small thing. But what I'd like is to basically, in the main pools, have it with as few pieces of rock as possible. But in general, try to have it as few pieces of rock as possible. And I can't believe how incredibly different life is. Not all of a sudden, because it's been like this for over a month. I don't know exactly how long, but um, it's striking how totally different, like say Adderall hits me now than it did a couple months ago, 3 months ago, because I was depressed. I'd do Adderall, and instead of doing things, I just watch TV or live stream or something. Now I can't watch TV. That's how it historically had always been with Adderall. It's like once you're once you're whacked out, then you can't you can't consume stuff like just sit there and observe and receive information. You feel active. You feel like you want to get some shit done, you know? So I had thought that just fundamentally my relationship with the drug had changed, but it wasn't the drug at all, and my relationship with the drug that had changed. It was me that had changed. I was depressed. And incredibly bad at recognizing that kind of thing, processing that kind of thing. Um, so I didn't have any real clarity about anything like that until after it passed, after it was over. Then I was like, now I'm like, oh my God, what have I been doing the last couple years? I've been wasting my time just like feeling shitty or something when I have all of this fun I can be doing all the time. But it took me a while to figure that out, I guess. I also thought today at one point, you can't buy someone else's life and then just go live it. I mean, it's kind of like what Rachel and I were trying to do. We're going to get this house and that little car that goes with this house, and we're going to live those people's life. Well, obviously, I have no interest in living like those people at all. I want to live like happier, like I'm living right now. Except this time, I get to build a pond here, and nobody's going to tell me to stop building it. Unless Rachel wants to tell me, then she and I don't tell each other things. We just confirm that that's what the other one wants to do. But that was my whole life about having the real control over my where I lived. Because I was always renting. My landlord in Temple City cut down this orange tree I planted. It really pissed me off. It was like just about ready, with full of oranges. That's right when he cut it down. I still am mad about that so many years later. Rachel and I tried to plant a Christmas tree in the back of the Arcadia house. My dad chopped it in half. Said we have to save water. I was just draining my aquarium on the tree anyway. That's the kind of thing that, like, I remember about those last couple years with my dad, helping with my mom and dealing with my dad, is that, man, did he really, like, undercut my agency at every turn. It was, it was kind of soul crushing. I mean, I get it now. I understand why he was the way he was. Life had been, at the end, life had gotten incredibly unfair to him and taken his wife from him. Even though life being unfair to my dad was not something that I'd ever have thought. He, he was very good at the things that life rewards a lot. Trouble, you better not be going to the bathroom down there. Oh, God. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. Gotta get back into those holes, finish the digging, and start the next part, because I don't want to just be creating a cat bathroom out there. Cat bathroom, more than meets the eye. Cat flashing, flashing in disguise. The way cats flush is they cover their excretions with dirt. All right, kitty, kitty, meow, meow pants. You need more food, huh? Very well. I have it right here. There you go, Theo. Bon appetit. Okay, Theo. I need to keep in mind that the good thing about you is I don't have to watch you eat. So why am I doing it? Well, that's how you flush too, Acacia? You might be a cat. Or, you might have way too much time on your hands. Oh, don't drop this. I have a cat named Money. I found him abandoned when he was a tiny kitten in 2017. Yeah, well, we have two cats, one of whom I raised from birth. She was born in bed next to me. The other one was an adult stray tomcat, and then animal control came and cut his nuts off and put him back on the streets, and then all of a sudden he came and conquered my family. Forced himself upon us, if you will. He love bombed us, etc. Can you feed us a pole? Oh yeah, I could feed you a pole. I could. Let's see. I'm gonna say, here's the pole. There you go. This pole is mostly for women, but it works for men too. Pick just one accessory: hat, bag, jewelry, cod piece. Cobweb is a good name. Cobweb is a good name. You adopted her in Santa Monica. So she's a Santa Monican. Well, I guess she likes piers and overpriced homes. You chose hat. I chose hat as well, obviously. Although if I had to choose between my hat and my purse. Well, see, the thing is, once the weather warms up, I really need my purse because I don't have jacket pockets to hold things in. And for those who don't know, I suffer from high hips syndrome, which means that even with a belt and suspenders, my pants somehow fall down. fires. Proximity to YCLA. Bag. Oh, UCLA. Right. Is it close to UCLA, Santa Monica? I tell you what's in Santa Monica. It's the Regal Beagle. That's the place that um, Jack from Three's Company and his puss slaying friend, I forget that guy's name. They would go there, and the girls as well. Now you wish you'd taken the jewelry, especially if it's real gold, because gold's price right now is just insane. It's over $3,000 an ounce. How crazy is that? $3,000 an ounce. It's like this wedding band is probably, I don't know how many grams it is, but just this one wedding band is probably worth like $700 or something, or maybe even a little bit more. I don't know how close to an ounce of ring is, but Regal Beagle is a Fu Manchu song. Fu Manchu song. Oh well, it's about the fictional nightclub lounge slash restaurant that they went to in Three's Company. Going to the Regal Beagle. I'm Don Knotts. Hit an all-time high today. I hear. Oh, did it? I was unaware that I was assuming that it was that yesterday was as an all-time high as well. Probably, like I don't remember it ever being anywhere close to $3,000 before. Maybe 2,000, 2,100. Kegel Beagle is your working autobiography name. Um, no, I stopped doing Kegel exercises a while back when someone informed me that I can't do them because I don't have those muscles. Well, what have I been doing this whole time? And they told me, you've just been squeezing your butt cheeks together. So that's why I felt kind of foolish. And I said, well, what do women do with their prostates? And again, I felt foolish when everybody said, women don't have a prostate. Was your way of exercising you getting in touch with your SI or at least developing it? I mean, I don't exercise for the sake of exercising. I've been getting a lot of exercise lately because I've been doing a lot of manual labor. See, like naturally occurring exercise. And I'm way more fit than I was just a couple months ago. I don't get winded that easily. I can push through and keep on meowing, 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 like digging a hole or whatever. I can't believe how big that thing outside I dug was. But then, after that, I had to go hammer out the house, which I successfully did, except for a couple little things. Crazily enough, I'm going to have to go back there tomorrow. I should go back there now. Doesn't smoking make you winded? Well, I mean, it matters a lot how fit you are as to how much smoking makes you winded. Because if you're accustomed to exerting yourself and breathing hard, then it seems like you don't get nearly as winded as if you're sedentary. I have to go to the other house actually in a little bit. Hi, Joe Bananas. No, her name is Zooey Deschanel, not Gooey Butt Nuggets. So the other house, the lights are all on and the doors are locked. I'm gonna have to go over there. You guys can come with me. Winding makes you smoked. Winding makes you smoked. Acacia. Winding isn't a word. So go back to elementary school. Why don't you? Learn how to say words. And then Acacia's like, oh my God, you burned me so much. I'm like, yeah, I did. That's how I'll roll. Here's a whole arm of an aloe plant. The long and winding chode. Not a very good Beatles song, as Beatles songs go. Okay. This is going to be a quick jaunt. We're going to go over to the other house. If you're not familiar with the routine, between here and the other house, there's about a 60-second stretch of time before I get to the other Wi-Fi. So, when it starts buffering, don't panic, and rest assured that we'll be right back together again. Before you can say, what's something that takes a long time to say? What's something that takes 60 seconds to say? Before you can say the Gettysburg Address. I'm going to say it takes 60 seconds to say the Gettysburg Address. It's kind of a random guess, but I might be right. Okay. What's this? What's this? And away we go. Okay. All right. So, let me turn the flashlight on. It feels like every light in the house is on. So, I need to go in there and turn those off. Steps are still nice and clean. When I blew them off earlier, but I'm gonna have to come back off underneath from here and get it with a pressure washer. Inside looks beautiful. I mean, considering how this place looked before I did all this stuff, it really makes a big difference. It smells like clean carpets. Clean carpet, clean heart. What is going on? Oh, the toilet's running. Well, I must have used the bathroom when he was here, the guy who took pictures. There. Not so bad. Okay. Here's this room. Looking good. In the neighborhood. A little cobwebs and stuff over there you could get with the vacuum. Or just get out of the paper towel or something. All right, turn that light off. Looking good in here. I do need to put drapes up, but looking good. And we picked up this drapes so that he could, when he's taking pictures, obviously. So we got done, we got the pictures taken of the place. It was really exciting because it means I only have a little bit more to do over here. Uh-oh, Home Fred left his charger, I think. Pretty sure this isn't Rachel's. I just leave it. Yeah, it's got to be his because I cleaned this whole place out before he came in here. So homie left his charger. And we'll just I could text him, but I do have his number. But I could also just tell Zoe, the realtor, it's another possibility. Okay. Well, Mr. Charger Lever, can't blame me for that. I wasn't even here. Not that I think you would blame me for that, but you know. All right, good enough. We don't need to close the drapes. They're fine. You know, Rachel said she didn't want this curtain with this thing around it. She thought it would look more contemporary if it was just didn't have the skirt. But the guy who took pictures obviously disagreed with her because he put the skirt on each of the drapes. Now I had just my gut by gut pegged him as ESFJ. So I trust her judgment more than his, but I think Zoe's an ENFJ. So if she picked him, then she's probably also telling him how to take the pictures. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he went to some real estate picture taking class or something. Who knows? Yeah, on a shirt was like the name of a company that takes pictures of houses that are for sale. So, you know, I suspect someone's business is specifically that, right? Like, I send out I have a team of photographers that I, as the business owner, instruct exactly how to take pictures of the houses. And then realtors know what they're going to get when they hire a Home Hub, I think maybe was the name of the company. They hire a Home Hub photographer. Regardless, let's vamoose. Back to the other house where all my stuff is. Once again, be prepared for a short absence as I return home. God damn it. I dropped my flashlight. God damn it. There. Alright, let's go. Oh, for fuck's sake! Karate chop. Winston's mom is not a Trump supporter. Winston's mom is quite the opposite of a Trump supporter. It's one of those weird things like neither Winston's mom nor I are Trump supporters, but I'm just a random that bomb this election. Is that a common occurrence? Yeah, it's pretty common. Right now we got like 7 people here. Generally, that's about standard for the stream. Sometimes we get as many as 15, maybe 20, but hover around 10, probably usually on average. Occasionally, people coming in and staying for a few minutes or not, depending on what they're looking for. That's a good thing about YouTube is it does not care about the creators. It's for the viewers. As it should be. Of course as it should be. Because, like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I want YouTube to customize things for me as a viewer, not for me as a creator. Because if they customize things for the creator, then it wouldn't be a successful platform because there's no way to successfully make people watch stuff they don't want to watch. I'm doing fine. Alexandre E. Bralades. I mean, you definitely got Winston's mom wildly misjudged if you think she's a Trumper. She, along with, in keeping with my perspective as well, she does not approve at all of his disregard for due process, rule of law, checks and balances, etc. I didn't vote for him either. I don't approve of him either, but you'd have better luck accusing me of that than her. Because I do believe that we would have been even worse off with Kamala Harris. But I mean, she's a uniquely terrible candidate. So, Mrs. Wong doesn't ban people. What are you talking about, Carmen? Are you sure you're thinking of the right person? You're just completely pulling this shit directly from your ass. None of this has any resemblance, bears any resemblance whatsoever to Winston's mom. No, I mean, that's not the case at all. Look, obviously, America is in desperate need of a genuine statesman with real leadership skills who's not an ideologue, who's not a communitarian, and who believes in due process, rule of law, and the American democracy in particular as the as a possible way to manifest the most ideal form of a citizen democracy, provided we have the right kind of discursive habits. We don't currently. I'm not going to ban Kermit Depp, but if he persists while ignoring both her and my words, I will certainly time him out because you shouldn't ignore people's words. Words are very important. Well, good for you, Kermit Depp. Like, where did you get this idea that people get banned around here all the time? You got to just be a a piece of shit, really, to get banned around here. I prefer to engage rather than ban. And being rude doesn't even get you timed out, right? There's certain lines you have to cross to get timed out. Even I don't know what channel you think you're at, but you're describing a reality that doesn't exist around here. You went to school for industrial photography? Wow, that's a very specific major. You what, like take pictures of factories? Oh yeah, I wouldn't imagine it would pay the rent. We would all love to, not all people, but many people, including myself, would love to be able to make money just creating stuff, make sufficient money to support yourself just by creating. So that'd be great. But you know, I guess i- in theory, I could probably make. Let's imagine I were to maximally hit all revenue streams linked to the YouTube channel, including working out for an hour for $100 typing people. I still can't even conceive of myself making more than about $500 directly from YouTube, maybe another 1,500 on typing sessions max. But if I were just trying to rely on ad revenue and or brand partnerships and shit, then first of all, it would be a totally different channel, right? Because I, there's none of what I'm about or my vibe or what I'm interested in has anything to do with brands. Like, I was in the special important YouTube club for shorts with my channel Mindy's Club, and I got invited to like this event where you get everything there is free, like food and stuff is free. You can go to the bar, order whatever drinks you want. I don't drink alcohol, but it was pretty cool venue for such an event. Pretty cool experience. But at the end of the day, what everybody wants is for YouTube to facilitate their engagement with brands so they can make money from selling stuff to people who watch their channel. But when they informed me that I'd have an opportunity to meet with some representatives of brands, I and they had this rule where like you have to go to a certain number of these things per year. So I went to it. This is the last thing I ever did for this special club of YouTube. And everyone in this, so there's a group of like special YouTubers where they get invited to this thing to meet with these different brand representatives. And everybody in this thing, it's all saying the same sort of shit. Like, it's absolutely amazing to be here and take advantage of this opportunity. Oh. And I put, I don't, I'm not feeling that amazed or something like that. Nobody even noted it, responded to it, commented about it, anything. Yeah, it. Is it Pedro? Is it Pedro's? I think it might be Pablo's piping hot pinatas, but I could be wrong. The point is they've gone through several ownership groups. One with Pablo, one with Pedro. Well, I mean, the thing is, I I just can't. I have no interest in it. It's not the fact that there's potentially money to be made by exploiting Mia for Mia. Just just not an adequate justification for me to motivate me into action. Also, at this point, I don't really have any expectations for the YouTube channel. Oh yeah, Peepees. Peepees, Pedro's, Pablo's, Pinata, and po- Potassium. Weak sauce cash do better. Or let's see what Cash said. Let's fight this chat up because this is boring, so I'll go first. At G, your father looks like my father's husband. Hmm. Hmm. Pipi Pedro Pablo and Pals, Piping Hot Pinata Palace. It's a good name for her. You know what else they could sell there? I'm willing maybe to let them sell Spreem. Because I'm planning on distributing Spreem, not with a distributor, but just have open just Spreem only stores everywhere. You know, like the Apple store, where they just have like three products, but they're like put on a shelf over here, and then you can wander around the space and look at the three products. And you approach a salesperson. How much is one of these large tins of Spreem? That's $324, but it does come with the Spreem spritzer and the Spreem hand lotion as well. Oh, and that is a $75 value. Cash Bandit, may I just say, I think it's wise of you not to steal checks or coins. Or maybe does cash include coins? I don't think so. Oh, that's a meaty bone rip. It makes me feel the meat in my mouth. I think I'm going to get myself a drink, a weed drink. If your husband's father looks like my father's husband, then does that mean that my wife's mother looks like my mother's wife? Acacia, please don't talk about his cooch. He's very sensitive about it. Why? Because he was born, he's naturally gaping. Just, just like a massive cavern. Cash includes coin. What about, does it include um, checks? No, it doesn't. It's the alternative to checks. Cavernous cooch. Welcome to Katie's Cooch Cavern. Just settle into the moist, dank atmosphere and get ready for an evening of light entertainment. Look, it's not cavernous crotch, Jake, because men have a crotch, but they don't have a cavern. That's the difference between men and women. You missed your health class in elementary school. Women have a cavern, men have a spelunker. Okay? That's a good way to ask if a woman is interested in you as well. You say, does your cave accept spelunking? Criminal trespass. Criminal trespass. Who's criminally trespassing against whom? A spelunker. Yeah. I actually like real spelunking in caves, or I used to when I was young. I don't get claustrophobic really at all. I don't think I get agoraphobic either, but it's like, I don't know, I always felt comfortable in tightly enclosed spaces like a cave. There was this cave in Santa Cruz called Hellhole. What do you bet they don't like? They have it like closed off now, so people can't go into it. Anyway, it went down quite a distance, and then you could eventually get to the very bottom of it, and then climb back out. Pretty cool experience. I liked it. The same guy that I went caving with at Hellhole, we also went caving in the Lavitude National Monument in Oregon, which apparently is quite I mean, it's a place of much urban legend kind of stuff because you have this whole network of underground lava tube caves and you have some disappearances. The Oregon cave, yeah, that's great. I think it's a great idea. And it's the sort of thing that nobody would ever be allowed to make nowadays, right? Where you go and you shave down stalagmites and stalactites, they'd be like, no, you're destroying the natural cave. I think they didn't destroy the natural cave, he just made it into an organ. I wonder if it's got that auto chord function that my organ has. Stalactites and stalagmites. Sometimes they come and they meet each other in the middle and form a column. That's called a stalagmatite. Oh, my Spanish lover, show me your Spanish ways. Oh, my Spanish lover, you're like Danny Glover, a little more each day, yes. Oh, my Spanish lover, I play the guitar in the way of your country. Señorita, ven aquí. Me llamo Raúl Diego. Y yo ama genius. Oh, sí. I paint with my ideas like a real genius was. Los sensores, they paint with their fingers, they paint with their eyes. I'm Raúl Diego from Spain. Y yo paint with my ideas. Rita, standing in the moonlight. Okay, that's enough. That's enough of that beat. What I will do though is play for you one time only, Russ and Steven. What kind of a... Oh, that's it. Got this on. Russ and Steven are a couple of guys, work at the dairy from 9 to 5. Russ and Steven think they've arrived, they work at the dairy for the rest of their lives. Okay, that's enough piano. I'm tired. I'm not whacked out. Like, I don't really play the piano very much. I can play things on the guitar, but I can't. I just fuck around on the piano. That's the only song I've ever written on the piano is that Russ and Steven song. I didn't even. It's like I'm so far from actually playing it well that I couldn't even attempt to get through it. I need to practice it a bunch more. I wrote that song many years ago, Russ and Steven, but then I spent many years without a piano. When I was living at my dad's house the last couple of years prior to my parents' death, there was a piano there, but my dad, he was such a weirdo. He's just like, he didn't want me playing the piano. Why do we even have a piano? Son, play theme song to tariffs. Theme song to tariffs. I mean, it's like, let me all the customers pay a little extra for the thing they want. That won't do anyone no good. Something like that. Tariffs are a bad idea. In general, free trade agreements are beneficial to all parties. And instead of using these words, tariffs and free trade agreements, we should instead use words like, do you want some third party involved when either you hire me to type you or I hire you to write a letter for me or something, Do you want some third party involved in that? If the answer is yes, then congratulations, you are in favor of tariffs. Well, I mean, that's assuming you want them involved in that fashion. You could just be in favor of raising the price of goods because you're like some kind of super villain, I guess. It's just like, instead of thinking about it from a corporation's perspective in terms of like, well, our American corporations will have an advantage over these foreign corporations. Think about it from a consumer perspective. Why is there some third party interfering in my purchasing decisions? Because they don't like how I'm purchasing that product, so they're going to make that product more expensive so that maybe I'll buy this other product that I don't want to buy. It's just dumb. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, these my bros, these my bros. They're animaniacs. My name is also John Jingle Hammerschmidt. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. That's what it is. My name is also John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. One of the memes I posted was showed this like two German guys in a bar, and one of them says, "What's your name?" And the other goes, "John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt." The first guy goes, "Buddy, you're not gonna fucking believe this." Got that. I think you can see why, because of course, oh there it is. It's his name too. That's why. I think I might pop another half a Lanzy. I want to sleep. I need sleep. I don't want to take it anywhere out. I don't even feel like it at all. I just feel like I want to recoup some dopamine by sleeping for a while so that maybe I just take one day off the Adderall and then start working. Give me some pop again, rather than just be a waste. I'm kind of hungry, but well, I do still have some of Rachel's leftover loaded pack from yesterday, which is quite good, but I wish they didn't put it in this paper stuff. Like, this paper makes it impossible to eat cold without getting some paper or stabbing through the paper. You can't have potato box. Oh, it's so stuck to the paper. Why did you do this? Barbecue place. Smoking Oaks Barbecue. It's like impossible to get this stuff off of this paper. Without getting paper on it. And, oh, how annoying. I don't want to eat paper. That's fine. I got most of it off. Ugh. Alright. I got mostly I'll say 2/3 of it or something. But they need to be a little bit more attentive to how their shit's gonna work in the fridge, because I always eat the stuff with leftovers, whatever we get from there. This little mac and cheese has brisket on it. It's one of those choose your meats things, Where's you want with brisket? See you later, Chicky Cake. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Yeah, we ice cream all the time, Like, a lot of times every day. Alright, so I think what I'm actually going to do is take a full thing. I'll take some Benadryls too, maybe a couple gabapentins. I'm going to really try to knock out. Will you stop leaving your coffee everywhere you go, Eric? Bring it with you instead. Alright. I am going to purposely leave this coffee right here because I'm going to go grab an Angela Lansbury, come back, take it, then go outside for a cigarette with my coffee. Wait till this thing. I gotta get the flashlight because I don't hear her. Normally I can hear her breathing or hear her YouTube videos. She was in a terrace, huh? I look like a terrace today? Even with this shirt? Do I still look like a terrace with this shirt like this? I look like an anime nerd, if you ask me. Alright, so let's go look and see if Rachel is, in fact, in there sleeping, or if she was whisked away by aliens or something. In theory, she could have changed rooms when I went over to the other house. And I wouldn't have noticed it, you know. Nope, she's just asleep. She's having, Adderall crash time plus she also started her period. But then added a comma below it and made it into a semicolon. She's always been a bit of a punctuation rebel. Hunchback of Governor. I'm gonna finally have to make a stand. I say you did not say hi. And that said hi doesn't count as saying hi. Acacia made the same crime earlier, so you're not alone. Fortunately, Fortunately, it's a victimless crime, so I'm not advocating in favor of any punishment. Suppose my phone died. Did you happen to answer my Animaniacs and Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Bros song? Question? No, I did not see it. Didn't see the question. Rachel's asleep. She's totally asleep. She's not even listening to anything on her phone. She's just sleeping. She's sleeping as though she took lessons from the Sandman, who most people say is the universe's greatest sleeper. I mean, you have those few people who do advocate in favor of Sleeping Beauty, but she, frankly, if she weren't beautiful, people wouldn't even note her as a particularly good sleeper, I don't think. She's benefiting from a looksist frame of reference. Sleeping Beauty needs to check her privilege. But you know why she remained so beautiful through her entire sleep? Spreem. She was sleeping, bathing in a shallow trough of Spreem. Your phone's on 6%. Well, obviously, you needed to be a little bit more plug in the phone today and a little less fuck around Fran, When you choose to be a fuck around Fran, that's when your phone dies and everyone's like, dead phone, in case she has a dead phone. The winner is Hat. Hat wins the poll. What you didn't know is that it's an inverted spike hat. So now you all have to put on a hat with resting jabs of spikiness poking into your skull. You picked the wrong accessory. You should have picked the bag, because at least then you'd have somewhere to put your hat. You'd also have somewhere to put your hat if you had a codpiece, I suppose. You just put it on right there on the codpiece, Hang your hat up and you're ready for business. You chose bag. Grandpa got swag. I'm actually not a grandfather. I do have a daughter. She's 26, but she has yet to produce any offspring. And frankly, I don't really care either way if she does or not. I'm not that into the idea of being a grandparent, although I'm sure it would be fine. I'd like it a lot or whatever. But I'm also prizing my freedom and lack of responsibility. I mean, sure, grandparents don't bear the same kind of responsibility that parents do, but we can barely take care of our two cats and ourselves. Like, Rachel and I both get annoyed by the neediness of trouble. That's not generally going to correlate strongly with being excellent grandparents, maybe? I don't know, though. Trouble is trouble. For the equivalent to happen, Delilah would have to name her child Annoying, and it would have to live up to his name as thoroughly as Trouble does live up to his name. Well, how do you plan to go to the dump tomorrow? I got two contract bags. My last trip to the dump was so informative regarding what's your other query? Two queries. Wow. That's a congress of queries. You gave it a quick 2 second scan. You gave what a quick 2 second scan? Query number one. Does query two equal query one? Query two. What's your favorite color? The answer to the first one is no. The answer to the second one is no such thing. You can't have a favorite. My favorite color is that everything be the color that it is. Yeah, that's the best color for things to be. The shirt, I like the fact that it's blue because that's the color it's supposed to be. Just like in the cartoon, same shade and everything. Not because blue is my favorite color, but because the shirt in Blue Exorcist that the guy wears is exactly this shirt. Question from Acacia. Are you gonna go free pooping out the van window again? If so, be careful. No, I learned my lesson last time. Right when I was pooping out the van window, we drove by a branch. The branch caught the poop and flung it back into the car. Got it right into the driver's face. Who was driving? Raphael, what's that guy's name? Raphael, the tennis player. Nadal? That's who was driving. I almost lost my other belongings. Well, I should never put them in my boat with the poop, you know. What happened was I was leaning out the window to poop, and I forgot that I had my belongings up my butt with my poop. But I managed to squeeze them back in after the poop fell out. What belongings? You know, wallet, keys, phone, lighter, cigarettes, flashlight. Yeah, oh yeah, it fits. Sure. Smells like my pocket. I was ghost riding the whip. Blue might be my last fave, but it's the shade that matters and how it contrasts. But you see what I'm saying though too? That it's silly to say like, what's your favorite color? Because you, like me, I'm sure, want everything to be the color that it is. You don't want some color to have an advantage. Like you go to look at daisies, and sometimes they're red because 8% of the time red takes over the actual color of a thing. That would be like, oh, another red thing. I wish red didn't have an advantage over the other colors. That's not fair. Then you can have a favorite color because then you want to root against red, you know? That makes perfectly good sense. Alright, so we're going to go inside, take a couple gabs, a couple bins. We have Angel Lansbury, Benjamin, two Benjamins, and a couple Gabba Gabba Haze. It's important you never call any drug by its actual name. Meow. One that will make me nervous, wondering what to do. One that makes me feel like I feel when I'm with you. When I'm alone with you. Okay, here are my Benadryls. Couple Benjis, corner pocket. And then we're going to get a couple of gabapentins. This cocktail of sleep inducers should see me wobbling off to bed in fairly short order. Why are you meowing at me again, kitty? Yes, you have very high neuroticism on the Big Five score. It's true. And very high extroversion as well. You never want something in any way in the world without telling me 50 times about it. Okay, I got Benny's right there laid out. Now I need to find the Pentons. The pinto beans. The Gabba Gabba Haze. Grayscale is my favorite color. I've decided. Finally, at long last, I've decided what my favorite color is. Will you stop with the constant meowing? Apparently not. Orange and green look the same grayscale. Everything looks the same grayscale, Acacia. It looks gray. God. Don't you get that gray is one color? One and only one color? No, there are no different grays. They're all the same. See? Gray, gray. Exactly the same. I'm going to go with a simple 1-2 here. Look at your Jolly Rancher. Well, it's a 1, 2, 3, but the 3 is the coffee. This is a watermelon Jolly Rancher. Open this up. That's premiere. Now, we're going to supplement the jolliness of the Rancher with the jolliness of this Hershey Kiss. For a double jolly chocolate watermelon surprise. Okay, yes, I did mean to say watermelon, but I like watermelon better, actually. And because the Rancher's jolliness lasts longer than the Hershey's Kiss, I'm going to bring another Hershey's Kiss over. Grumpy Grapist. If your flag had max 5 colors, minimum 2, what would they be? My flag would be brown with white letters on it. White letters would say country. Very generic. Green also symbolizes envy. And orange also symbolizes prison. White ain't no color. Well, it's more colorful than transparent. Gonna choose transparent then? That's my color. Okay, I'll go with brown and light brown. But don't you dare call it tan. More of a cafe au lait. Well, I can choose transparent, but I can't choose white. I'm beginning to think these rules are arbitrary. It's sand, but slightly more nuanced of a color than sand. It's an equal parts sand, tan, and cafe au lait. I like colors that aren't in the visual field. Things like slow and loud. Those are a couple of my favorite colors. And can I spell country? Not without cunt. Hey, mate, you have a booger left nostril. Well, that's where I keep it. Otherwise, I'll lose it. Good night, Munchie. I'm having good night, Munchie right now myself. Good night, Munchie. I'm having a Choco Waterman. Which is Hershey's Kisses plus watermelon. You know, leprechauns don't actually wear green. They wear a blue and yellow checkered pattern, but the checkers are very, very small. So small that it looks green. No, God, that's horrible. Just meow you. I'm just gonna straight up meow you right out of the gate. Hyphen is not a name. Hyphen, hyphen. Hyphen, hyphen. Why? You really ought to hyphenate that name. Hyphen, hyphen. Sal PDR. Hello. What does the PDR stand for? Pretty darn real? Well, you know, America, like India, we used to be a British colony. But, you know, when we overthrew our colonial masters, We kicked that U out of color. There's a little something called self-determination, okay? Oh, paintless dent repair. Will tickle my feet in the car seat. I do be farting hella loud on metal folding chairs. Is that what I was saying? Lips do. Through a leprechaun's eyes, they can clearly see the blue and yellow check marks. Your business name. Sounds good. I hope, I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Removing dents without painting. You know, you're gonna drive my paintful dent repair business out of business. So Monday night, and I'm still recovering from staying up all night last night, finishing a bunch of work on the house before the guy came to take pictures. Like, it was physically pretty taxing. A lot of lifting of things that aren't super heavy, but nevertheless, if you lift them a bunch of times, it gets tiring. Like, I did the carpet cleaning last night, so and the rug doctor is very effective, but you gotta pour out the dirty water and put in new clean water a lot. You need 45 more subs to start streaming live. I mean, I don't know anything about what those requirements are because this channel is like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. I don't know when they'll be uploaded. I'm assuming the photographer is coordinating with the realtor about that. And that's their job. I don't worry about it. That's why I have a real estate agent. You know how much her commission is? I'm having a Jolly Rancher. 1.5%. That seems like a pretty good deal. So, I see. Pretty good. Pretty effective. I have dents in my car, but not really very many, but I don't really care. You know, my car's pretty old. It's got 130,000 miles on it. Well, yes, Moises, you can because um oh that's right, you want subs. Let's subs you. It's fine. Scrap. Oh, you just push it right there. See. That's convenient. We checked your messages. The realtors say keep the house, huh? That's surprising. I do indeed do some music stuff. I do other things too. Lately, I've been digging holes in the ground. That's been satisfying. Not just for the sake of digging holes, of course. Making a pond slash uh, water feature in my backyard. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. Well, maybe I will play a song in a second. I can play a song on the guitar. I'll play. Oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe I'll play Gregory in the Sky. People tend to like that song. No, I'll write your country song for free right now. I could write you a jingle, you know, like I could also write you a cheer, like, don't be the one with the stupid car, go to South PDR, like that. Moonlight Girl in third language. Well, I buy a new car every year. Every year I go, no fear. But now I cannot steer anymore. I am so afraid of shameful stares. 'Cause my car isn't theirs. 'Cause their car is totally dent free. Unlike me. But then I said, hey, I love my car. I'm calling Sal's PDR right now. There you go, Sal PDR. I can't flip again. Why? I can't see it if it's the other way around. If it's pointing, if the front cameras are pointing at me, I can't see here, right? But I mean, I don't have to see me, but I don't even know if I'm in frame if I'm not looking at me. If it's the other way around, it might be like this, and I won't even notice it. Rhythm in Arabic music is organized in cycles of beats and pauses. There are other names for this concept. Beats and pauses. Beat, beat, pause. Beat, 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 pause. Beat, beat, pause. Beat, 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 pause. Beat, 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 pause. Beat, beat, pause. Beat, 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 pause. Beat, 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 pause. Beat, beat, pause. Beat, 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 pause. The major Locrian scale, also often called the Arabic scale, is a seven-note scale based on the Locrian mode. From the Locrian scale, we get the Arabic scale by sharpening the second and third scale degrees. Absolutely wonderful. Simply wonderful. BP Pause. Right. BP Pause is a good name for that song. My name's BP Pause. And every time I put my paw down, it goes beep. That's BP Pause's superpower. Needless to say, they're not a very effective superhero, because all they can do is cause beeping sounds. But as BP Pause likes to say, a well-timed beep can do a world of good. A well-timed beep. Just a child peeping down the stairway. Is it my stairs? There are no children here. Rachel's not upstairs either. There's only two people who live in this house. Me and Rachel. And what you may have seen is a bag of trash up there. Rachel tends to leave her trash cans. In your trash bag. Is that your child you saw? Maybe. If there was a child in the house that you saw, it would have to be a ghost, because we don't have any children. I mean, I have a kid, but she's an adult. Rachel doesn't have any kids. And, when we first moved in here for quite a while, we often sleep in separate beds because, Rachel felt like she had to get used to the fact that, like, she wasn't bothering me when we were in bed together. I don't think I was particularly bothering her. I think it's just Effie Tool. Like, she's hyper aware of whether she's making noise or stuff. Whereas me, I just roll over and make noise and don't even think about it. Probably the trash bag, yeah. Every time your paw goes up, it says paw. Every time it goes down, it says beep. So the cat goes. But you can't do that because then you can never have, well, you could have beep, beep, paw. But you couldn't go like this, beep, beep, paw. I mean, because then it would, you have pause in between too. So I will go get into bed with my beloved Rachel in not too long. Point being that we used to sleep in separate rooms, but now we always sleep together, and we just we spend a lot considering how much house there is. It's kind of weird how we both just occupy one little corner over there. But I like sleeping with her. Well, I didn't used to have any particular preference either way, but I find it nice to have her near when I'm in bed. There's something about like, well, who knows what's happening while you're asleep, but if your significant other's right there the whole time, then you know whatever's happening is not happening to her. Even though upstairs is not that far away, it's far away enough that I can't exactly, like, if she were to fall down and hurt herself or something, and she might have trouble getting me to make note of it, especially if the door down here were closed or something. Not that I normally close it, but I don't know. There's not a good reason to be nervous because your spouse is upstairs, but there's that nevertheless explains to some extent why it's soothing or more comfortable to sleep with your spouse in the same room. What year was this home built? 2001, 2002, something like that. And, like the bathroom looked dated like that. The kitchen looks dated. Um, by and large, the house has a wonderful aesthetic to it, even though it's not contemporaneous to now. But one problem in the house is all these ceiling fans that were put in by the people before us. The original people built this house, and that guy was like a genius. He designed it, and he designed the water towers and the water company up here that services just this one little neighborhood. Everybody else all around us is on well water. He was a genius. He he's responsible for this place. Then the people after him were freaking morons. They took out like good light fixtures and put in all these ceiling fans in every room. Oh, we need everything to do more than one thing because we have no introverted intuition. So, I want to get rid of all those horrible ceiling fans and replace them with just light fixtures, for fuck's sake. But who knows when I'm going to get around to that. It's not really a high priority. And sounds like, well, I'd have to figure out how to do it myself, or else it would be expensive. Now, I get the ceiling fans have a conceivable use, right? So if it's really hot, then in the upstairs in particular, even if the air conditioning's on, you might want additional cooling, I suppose. But the thing is, we have central air conditioning. And if you want a fan without air conditioning, you can just turn the fan on in central air conditioning. Plus, there's a foyer ceiling fan. So the person who designed this house already accounted for all the wind movement that needs to be done. Only an ESTJ is going to think adding a ceiling fan to every room is better because it gives more possibilities. So Joe can be in this room with a fan on, and this Bob can be in this room with no fan on. Everybody can individuate their experiences exactly as they want them. Fucking, if people want a fan on them in the room, I can get them a floor fan, an actual fan that you just plug in and fan you. You don't need a fucking ceiling fan fixture that's got a remote control and inordinately unseemly in its interface, right? It's like, oh, let's have more functionality here we can add to this to make it needlessly complex and stupid. Also, these things like the ceilings are fairly low in this place. It's not designed for ceiling fans. The places that are designed for ceiling fans is the foyer where it has one. Those fucking tards. It's kind of like I don't mean to be, but this is an STJ thing that I heard one time, which was, oh, the cat's scratching the chairs. You should get a scratching post. Except here's the problem with this idea. The cats have endless things to scratch all around them, from the carpet to trees outside to the wood pole post thing that they scratch out here, and they still scratch the couches. We try to stop them when they do it, but why do they still scratch the couches? Because they don't give a fuck. It's not from lack of other options, you know? They can scratch any number of things. Giving them a scratching post will not make them stop scratching the couches. They might scratch the scratching post, but even then, at best, it would take away a little bit of their scratching the couches. Capillo's the one who still does it, really. We kind of broken trouble with that, I think. Regardless, the reason they do that is not for lack of things to scratch. Same thing about these ceiling fans. There are myriad ways to cool a room without making it impossible to turn the light on in a simple fashion when you walk into a room. You know, it's like my watch, right? I don't want a date on it. I don't want the day of the week. Those are just things that will be wrong all the time. Because I'm not gonna like adjust it when time changes and stuff like that. And no, I'm perfectly happy to keep my date calendar stuff separate from my clock. Why do we need to combine them? Cats are not specifically attracted to cat posts. That's for inside cats anyway. It's like, um, maybe if you have an inside cat who's not allowed to go outside and scratch things that they would normally scratch, like trees and shit, then then you have to artificially provide some like pole like thing, because that's what they like to scratch, right? That's where they get to go up like this. Um, KKK Klansman, Kentucky. First of all, you never need to ask if you can ask a question, because you can always ask a question and the person doesn't have to answer. Second of all, um, everyone will always be judged fairly for their words. That doesn't necessarily mean you won't be judged at all. Around here, everyone will be judged fairly by their words. At the moment, I'm withholding judgment despite your name, but we'll see what happens. Because your name is part of your words, but I'll withhold judgment and see what form this takes. I'm kind of curious. You cannot possibly be meowing at me again. What do you want this time? You want me to watch you eat again? I just watched you eat. And it wasn't that good for me, frankly. My eyes didn't get that much pleasure from watching you eat. Ugh. Ugh. I should take another antacid pill. It's because I just like drinking coffee so much. You can only drink so much coffee before it just starts to give you acid reflux. I don't think probably meow meow. I think probably if KKK Klansman Kentucky is even still here, it's because that maybe YouTube just didn't let whatever he typed be shown. You know, there's certainly that possibility depending on how they phrase things. Am I ready for bed yet? Did I take I took 2 gallon pens, 2 Benadryls, and olanzapine. I should be pretty zonked out. What, kitty? What do you want? You want to just meow at me for no good reason. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. So, I'm gonna wrap it up. Maybe watch a speck of TV and go to bed. Thanks all for being here. I'll see you soon.